So, Professor, there we are seeing visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi being accorded with the Grand Cross of the Order of Macarius III. It is the highest honor in Cyprus, being accorded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi by the President of Cyprus. And this follows a tete-a-tete between the two leaders, extremely significant.
सम्मान के लिए मैं आपका, साइप्रस सरकार का और साइप्रस के लोगों का ऐसे हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। यह सम्मान केवल मेरा, नरेंद्र मोदी का सम्मान नहीं है, ये 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों का सम्मान है। उनके सामर्थ्य और आकांक्षाओं का ये सम्मान है। ये हमारे देश के सांस्कृतिक भाईचारे और वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की विचारधारा का सम्मान है। मैं ये अवार्ड भारत और साइप्रस के मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंधों को, हमारे साझा मूल्यों और हमारी पारस्परिक समझ को समर्पित करता हूं। सभी भारतीयों की ओर से मैं इस सम्मान को अत्यंत विनम्रता और कृतज्ञता से स्वीकार करता हूं। यह अवार्ड शांति, सुरक्षा, संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता और हमारे लोगों की समृद्धि के लिए हमारी अटूट प्रतिबद्धता का प्रतीक है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं इस सम्मान को भारत और साइप्रस के संबंधों के प्रति एक जिम्मेदारी के रूप में इसका महत्व मैं समझता हूं और मैं उस भाव से इसको लेता हूं। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारी सक्रिय साझेदारी आने वाले समय में और भी नई ऊंचाइयों को छुएगी। हम मिलकर न केवल अपने देशों के विकास को मजबूत करेंगे, बल्कि एक शांतिपूर्ण और सुरक्षित वैश्विक वातावरण के लिए, उसके निर्माण के लिए भी मिलकर के योगदान देंगे। मैं फिर एक बार इस सम्मान के लिए आपका हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been conferred with Cyprus's top honor. Remember, Prime Minister has already been accorded with the top honors by more than 22 countries, and the list is only growing bigger and larger. Prime Minister has dedicated that award that the Prime Minister has been conferred with. It's called the Grand Cross of the Order of Macarius III, the highest honor in Cyprus, to the 140 crore Indians, or 1.4 billion Indians. And the Prime Minister said that it is also dedicated to the common values and common heritage of India and Cyprus. He spoke of how the honor represents to him the cultural ethos and the spirit of brotherhood in India, and also India's belief in the world as one family, or Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which was also India's motto as far as the G20 summit presidency is concerned. He said that the award shows our commitment to the questions of our territorial sovereignty and integrity, and he said that India and Cyprus will continue to work towards regional peace and global peace. Professor Bharadwaj continues to be with us. Professor, your thoughts on another top honor by another country being accorded by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this is not just another country despite its small size, it is extremely significant in the Mediterranean and in Europe.
Of course, it is basically, you can see that it is that tall personality of Prime Minister Narendra Modi that has talked, his vision of the global South, his vision about the world peace, that he talked about that this time is not the time for the war. This time is the time for the development, and that development should be human-centric developments. Talks about the people's global, you can say, people's need, keeping the need of the global goods like the food security, like the health security, education, all these issues. So his persona itself is so strong and so honored that
मार्कर यूज 3 सम्मान के लिए मैं आपका, साइप्रस सरकार का और साइप्रस के लोगों का ऐसे हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। यह सम्मान केवल मेरा, नरेंद्र मोदी का सम्मान नहीं है, ये 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों का सम्मान है। उनके सामर्थ्य और आकांक्षाओं का ये सम्मान है। ये हमारे देश के सांस्कृतिक भाईचारे और वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की विचारधारा का सम्मान है। मैं ये अवार्ड भारत और साइप्रस के मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंधों को, हमारे साझा मूल्यों और हमारी पारस्परिक समझ को समर्पित करता हूं। सभी भारतीयों की ओर से मैं इस सम्मान को अत्यंत विनम्रता और कृतज्ञता से स्वीकार करता हूं। यह अवार्ड शांति, सुरक्षा, संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता और हमारे लोगों की समृद्धि के लिए हमारी अटूट प्रतिबद्धता का प्रतीक है। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं इस सम्मान को भारत और साइप्रस के संबंधों के प्रति एक जिम्मेदारी के रूप में इसका महत्व मैं समझता हूं और मैं उस भाव से इसको लेता हूं। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारी सक्रिय साझेदारी आने वाले समय में और भी नई ऊंचाइयों को छुएगी। हम मिलकर न केवल अपने देशों के विकास को मजबूत करेंगे, बल्कि एक शांतिपूर्ण और सुरक्षित वैश्विक वातावरण के लिए, उसके निर्माण के लिए भी मिलकर के योगदान देंगे। मैं फिर एक बार इस सम्मान के लिए आपका हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
So there we saw the Prime Minister accepting the top honor of Cyprus, the Grand Cross of the Order of Makarios III, one of the few awards, world leaders to get the award on behalf of the government of Cyprus. We're standing by for the delegation level talks between the two principals, the leaders of India and Cyprus, followed by a joint press statement. We'll get to all that in just a bit, but I believe we still have with us our guests on this broadcast.
Yes, Professor Bharadwaj, the point that Ambassador Panda was making earlier of how it is important that India has strategic alliances with various countries in the region, and why it makes sense to continue to stand with Cyprus on the issue of its territorial integrity and sovereignty, on the issue of the Cyprus problem. I would want to ask you about whether you would extend the same argument to how Turkey treats Cyprus in the maritime domain, because we often see India and the world questioning what China does in the South China Sea, but here Turkey says that Cyprus cannot assert its maritime rights as any other country because it does not enjoy those exclusive economic zone rights because it's a very small island nation, which again is in contravention of the international law. So do you think that this is also a point that could be mentioned in the joint statement later when it's out in print?
No, absolutely correct. See, I should bring before you 2-3 points. One is, of course, while we are keeping Turkey into mind, that we find that Turkey is behaving like the Chinese expansionist approach, that the China is trying to expand itself in the South China Sea. In the same manner, Turkey is also trying to expand its rights in the Mediterranean region. But keeping Cyprus and India into mind, we have to be very clear that both the countries, either Cyprus or India, both are law-abiding country, and we believe in the UN Charter, and we are basically strictly following the UN resolutions, either in the case of the Kashmir issue or on the territory that has been forcefully occupied by Turkey in Cyprus, that we are asking that let the UN resolution should be adopted to release, to free this territory which has been occupied by Turkey. And both the countries like Cyprus and India is against these kinds of imperialist, these kinds of expansionist approach of any country, either in Europe or in Middle East or in South Asia or in Southeast Asian countries, and that brings there is a conversion of interest. Like number of countries in Southeast Asia like Vietnam, they want to develop the close partnership with India to counterbalance the Chinese hegemonic tendencies, Middle Kingdom theory. In the same manner, Cyprus is also looking forward to have a strategic partnership with India to counter the hegemonic tendencies of Turkey. You know, Turkey is now a new, you can say, a new ambitious country in the Islamic world. They want to take the leadership of Islamic world into its account. That if I remember correctly, that in 2021 there was one Islamic summit, and there were race between Turkey, Iran, and Malaysia, that we will lead the Islamic world, and that it has been with the Saudi Arabia, that it should come either to the Iran or to the Turkey, that they will lead. But we are the world is very much clear. The Islamic world is very much clear that these states are they are particularly Iran, if I'll say Pakistan, and all these states are rogue states, and you can say believes in the more fanatic and more Islamist ideology. Turkey is trying to be everywhere in their diplomatic gestures, either, and wants to facilitate all the countries, but siding with the Pakistan in this recent Pahalgam attack means that they are basically more inspired by the religious fanatic ideologies, rather than taking about and abiding with about the international rules and regulations or territorial integrity and sovereignty of other countries. So you can see that the ambitions of the leader like Erdogan, and ambitions of the country of like China and Turkey are trying to volatile or trying to create unrest in different parts of the world. And now the liberal democratic countries, they are trying to mobilize, trying to come together to counter these rogue states, these expansionist states in its strategic policies. India, of course, always talking about the human centric development. India is, of course, the home of Mahatma Gandhi and home of Gautam Buddha. We talks about the non-violence, and you know, Cyprus has also celebrated 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. They have also set up a statue of Mahatma Gandhi in Cyprus. So they are highly inspired the ethos and values and the principles of the Indian culture, Indian society, Indian leaders that has been that has been dominating discourse in recent past. Of course, that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision to promote the Indian heritage, Indian culture, Indian medicine, Indian methods of life like yoga, that has also been popularized and accepted by around 177 countries in the world, and Cyprus is one of them. So you can see that India's soft power techniques and strategy has impressed number of countries in the world to develop a strong, close, constructive partnership with India, including Cyprus. So, in fact, while Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting any part of the world, like correctly mentioned, that 22 countries has already honored Prime Minister Narendra Modi with their highest award. Now, today is 23rd country is the Cyprus that has also honored the highest honor and award of Cyprus to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So you can see that they are highly impressed with the leadership of India, or Indian leaders, that who is representing 140 crores of the people of in the world. So these kind of gestures and the posturing or the policies have been attracting to the world community. Even the Chinese premium has also accepted that India's soft power strength that has been impressed to all over the world. Wherever you are going, we are proud to be Indian. And the way the Indian diaspora community are greeting to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, even in Cyprus, you can see that the slogans of Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Vande Mataram, and the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi was greeting to the Indian community by Namaste and by handshaking and all that, has showing that we are very accommodative, we are very inclusive, and we respect the humanities. We do not believe to hegemonize any person or any country for their for our self interest. So these kind of values have been attracted India towards the in the international fora and international. So these are the things that you can see, that all the countries in the world, either in the Southeast Asia or in East Asia or in the European countries, they want to develop a comprehensive strategic partnership with India. They want to have a developmental tie with India. They are also trying to, because India is also a emerging middle class market. It was fifth largest economy. Now it is becoming third largest economy in the world. It is attracting all the countries who are looking India as a market, particularly in the crude oil and all that. And you know, the Mediterranean Sea is having a huge potentials of the hydrocarbon and crude oil resources, that India is looking forward to have this participation, exploration in these areas, to have constant energy supply to the Indian market. In the same manner, the communities like this Cyprus is also looking forward to have more investment in India. Now it is the 10th largest investor in India, but we are targeting about $100 billion investment in India. While there were a cultural summit in Cyprus in 2023, India's eight startup programs has participated in this in that cultural summit. And so you can see that the India's visibility all over has been witnessed, and it has attracted number of investors, number of companies to invest in India. And Indian scientists, Indian doctors, Indian nurse, Indian IT specialists, they are all very much welcomed, and they are all very much appreciated everywhere in the world, either in the Europe or America or other major economies and the world. So you can see that there are number of opportunities, number of expectations, and number of agreements that India is trying to develop with Cyprus, particularly while Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting to this country. And then the same points would be raised while Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in G7, where he will put forward the arguments and the expectations of the global South, while particularly the global commons and the environmental issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very fascinating about the green energy, and he has initiated the International Solar Alliance, and through that we are promoting and transitioning the energy towards the renewable energy, like either solar or you can say wind energy. And we are also trying to trying to use the battery systems and all for transportations and all that in Indian cities. So you can see that we are very committed to the international norms. We are very committed to the Paris Agreement. We are actively participating in COP summits, and there we are also trying to have the climate justice. In this climate justice, particularly India is also standing with the global South, where the developed countries,